Andrew already started out right before, in the midst of us about to record this episode of One Storyteller, where we were talking about the second half of the Council of Elrond. I'm so good at transitions, aren't I?
That was good.
That was incredible. I'm Reagan.
I'm Andrew.
Almost missed his cue there, and we're in the second half of the Council of Elrond, finishing up. After Gandalf talks for a while, Legolas interjects. We have this picture that Gollum has escaped, and so not really the elves' fault, kind of the elves' fault, but definitely not the elves' fault. And then we move on into something else. Gandalf starts talking for another while. This is all in the context of the larger discussion that's going on. That is, there are a bunch of different problems over Middle-earth, and we need to put aside those problems and actually focus on what's really important, which is getting rid of this ring. And Andrew decided to bring up in the 2 minutes of break we had between last episode and this episode that it's interesting to see Legolas and Gimli. Gimli doesn't talk in this council at all. It's Glowin who talks.
It's just his dad talking.
Yeah. Glowin had issues with Mirkwood, which was headed by Thranduil, which is Legolas's father. And so it is interesting to see that Legolas and Gimli are in many ways representations of prior generations. Thranduil and Glowin have beef against each other, but Legolas and Gimli actually end up becoming decent friends and
excellent friends.
Yeah. And so it is interesting to see that the fathers have their differences and their gripes, and they just kind of hate each other, but the children are able to come together and make peace. So that's cool.
It is.
That was mentioned kind of in the break.
No, you said it better.
Yeah, I did. I thought I did. Yeah, that's how this goes. So Gandalf starts talking again.
Yep.
This is where we're picking up. Gandalf says, "Okay, y'all are done talking. Let me just monologue again for a while." So Gollum is out. Unfortunate. So what about Saruman? Well, let me tell you a little story. And then
big story.
Yes. So Gandalf has been gone from, basically, I feel like he left in Chapter 2 in Shadow of the Past.
Yep.
He left to go and research.
Well, sort of like, remember Chapter 3 sort of has some broad strokes at the beginning?
Yeah.
He leaves during that.
Yeah. So it was after Gondor and after questioning Gollum.
Yeah, and after telling Frodo he does have the ring, after that.
Yes, and then he goes off. This is kind of where Gandalf's account picks up, because we haven't heard from him since then.
Yeah, exactly.
He left a letter at Bree that did not get delivered. There were some weird flashes of lightning on Weathertop that we are made aware of what those are. But Gandalf in the Council of Elrond clarifies what he was doing in the background, which actually explains a lot of things in the past. So, Radagast is there.
Yes. This is the first time you ever see him in any of Tolkien's literature.
Exciting. Radagast the Brown is a wizard. Not a very well-esteemed one, at least not in Saruman's eyes.
Not at all.
He does not like Radagast very much. But Saruman, the White Wizard, sends Radagast the Brown Wizard to go find Gandalf the Grey Wizard and tell Gandalf the Grey Wizard to go to Saruman the White Wizard for advice, essentially. There is something to the color scheme. It's like lighter colors are more powerful. Is that what it is? Because there's white, gray, brown, because Radagast is the weakest of all of them. I think.
I don't think that's ever made explicit.
Okay. Then I've just been hearing random things.
Yeah, I haven't never heard anything like that.
Oh, well, I've heard Saruman the White is the leader because white is the lightest color.
That might be correct.
Yeah,
I don't think that's ever specifically
There's a
mentioned.
light blue who's second. There's a Gandalf who's gray who's third. There's a dark blue who's fourth, and there's Radagast who's fifth.
The blue, I don't think that's true. We don't see if they're light blue or dark blue.
They're two different blues.
They're just called the two blue wizards.
Yeah.
That's the extent to which they're referred.
Okay. I've heard about the tier ranking system. I don't know how legitimate that is. Apparently it's not legitimate, but what do I know?
You could argue to me, I don't know where blue would fit into this, but you could argue to me that like Saruman is observably the most powerful.
Yeah.
Gandalf appears to probably be more powerful than Radagast.
Probably.
At least he's more active, but we'll talk about that later.
Well, Radagast gets sent around as a messenger. I don't feel like Gandalf does that.
Yeah.
And so
he does that to himself.
He does that to himself. Yeah, he doesn't get commanded on him. So
yeah, Radagast, we don't read much about him.
Yeah, he's there for like a paragraph and then he leaves. Yeah. And this is Gandalf went out and was kind of looking around Bree land to like see what it was about. He ends up running into Radagast. Radagast says you should leave. You should go to Saruman. And this is the moment that Gandalf decides to write a message for Frodo to leave it with Butterbur in Bree at the Prancing Pony and to go and see Saruman. And this is where Gandalf says that was probably a bad idea.
Oh, yeah.
I should have just gone a couple days, gone to the Shire, told Frodo everything, and then left, and then gone and saw Saruman. I think is the implication. But he doesn't. And so he goes to see Saruman. What do you have on how Saruman is displayed in this section? Because we've had some...
Tolkien isn't interested in, like, making...
anything. This is all made up. It's not real.
Stop. He's not interested in like spending a lot of time to make the really intricate gaslightings from Saruman.
Okay.
He's like, okay,
yeah,
you can tell he's lying. Gandalf knows he's lying, so I'm not going to make these grand like deceptions here.
Thankfully.
And like that's probably good enough for our part of the story.
Yeah.
We do see, I think, and especially when we see him in the Two Towers, Gandalf or Saruman's like really malignant deception, even in situations where it would pay to be like less overtly evil.
Yeah.
Perhaps. Like he's committed to that. He just is very disgusted and arrogant with other people.
Yeah.
Well, and I think there are people who are a lot better at like hiding their motivations. But I think it is worth having a character who is exposed to that extent.
Yeah.
And it helps that Gandalf is wise enough to be able to open the door to all the nastiness inside Saruman.
Yeah. He can tell it, and he spoils it for a lot of other people. And so there's no real point in hiding. Partly also Saruman is the most powerful, right? He's the wisest.
He doesn't have to be cautious.
Yeah. And so he is... I don't know how fair this is to say. He seems like the second most powerful being in Middle-earth after Sauron.
If you were going to measure, he would be up there.
Yeah.
I think you can make arguments
that may not be technically true, but like that's kind of how it's displayed. Yeah. Is he's way up there on the power scale.
Yeah.
And so he's a very impressive individual, and it's unfortunate that he is also not a good individual.
Exactly.
You see this when Gandalf arrives at Orthanc, which is a weird name.
It means the Tower of Cunning in
that seems suspect.
Yeah, Tower of Cunning in the Rohirrim tongue, I believe. And Mount Thing in Elven.
Very odd.
Yeah.
That's minorly prophetic. So you have that. That's just weird. It just sounds like orc, which I guess is also kind of prophetic.
Yeah,
prophetic.
I think that's probably coincidence.
Oh yeah, but like it sounds like a nasty word.
It does.
Orthanc. It's very guttural, I guess. It's very it feels kind of German in the way that you would pronounce it.
Rohirrim.
Yeah. And so much not like Rivendell or the Shire.
Yeah.
It's
it's
a lot harsher.
Yeah, Orthanc is the name of the tower.
Yeah.
And Isengard is
the area.
You don't really get a sense of this in the movies super well, and that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
But it's Isengard is this almost valley, like this really powerful ring of hills.
Yeah.
Like almost like a natural wall of stone and rock.
Yeah.
And there's a tunnel you go through. This is the only way to go into this valley, basically. In the center of the valley is this really powerful tower that was built by the Númenóreans.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. I did not catch that. Is that explained here? Did I miss that? Or
I think it's mentioned here.
Okay. Well,
if it's not, it will be mentioned.
Gandalf talks too much.
He does talk too much. I forgive you for not noticing that.
So Gandalf shows up, and the first thing he notices is Saruman is there to greet him, and Saruman's wearing a ring, which is odd.
Yes.
That gets called out.
Yeah.
And then Saruman, when he introduces himself, he says he's like all-knowing, He says he's a ring maker, which seems kind of sus.
Yeah, it does.
And then he's also not Saruman the White. He's Saruman of
many colors.
many colors, which could mean...
He's just like Joseph. I'm just kidding. Yeah, so Saruman of many colors.
Yeah, he's the good guy like Joseph is. He is... Well, I don't know. Gandalf takes that to mean essentially he has, in biblical terms, he has sullied his garments and stained them.
Mm-hmm.
The ideal form is white garments because white is pure.
Yeah.
And yet he's turned them into something else. I think that's the best interpretation. That's not what Saruman would say.
Yeah. Well, Saruman even says white is good enough as a beginning.
Yeah.
But it shouldn't be the end.
Yeah. White always gets stained. Like white paper has something that gets written on it.
Yeah.
Which understandable, but also incorrect.
It's just pretty like overt Saruman abandoning his identity.
Yeah.
It's interesting because it's something you see in the Bible a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Is when people change something about themselves, we read about them changing their attire as well.
Yeah.
And that's what we see like just blatantly with Saruman.
Oftentimes. Yeah. Well, he's not going to style the same way if he is Saruman of many colors, like he says.
Yeah.
And basically the message is very clearly spelled out. Saruman has entirely sold out.
Yeah.
The wizard question, which may go off on a tangent, may not. They were like assigned their roles by the gods, right?
Yeah. So they're from the West as well.
Yes.
And unlike elves who originated in Middle Earth, and some of them came to the West and some of them left, some of them stayed as well. But most of the like really powerful spirits just always stayed in the West.
Yeah. So, but they were sent over to be servants of the gods.
Yes. So the gods, in past ages, they had come to fight like pretty overtly against evil. Like when Morgoth, who was a lot more powerful than Sauron, was there.
Yeah.
They would come and fight themselves.
Mm-hmm.
But here they're like, okay, we're not going to do that. We're going to send messengers. And yeah, here we are. This is the tangent here now.
Okay.
We're going to send messengers to, and their orders are explicit, which is you're going to oppose Sauron, but not through power.
Oh.
You're going to encourage the people of Middle-earth to fight Sauron.
Well, isn't that interesting?
Isn't that interesting?
That's cool.
Because Saruman ends up doing the exact opposite.
Yeah.
And I think you can see this even with, there's a huge contrast between Gandalf and Saruman.
Mm-hmm.
You were just saying, we were just talking about previously, into the last episode, Gandalf's always moving around. He's riding around trying to do all these things. He doesn't settle down. He's not in charge of anybody.
Yeah.
Like he even asks hobbits for permission to stay there, you know? Like,
yeah, that's true.
He's lord of no one, but the counselor of everyone.
Mm-hmm.
And Saruman is sort of turning that on its head.
Yeah.
Gandalf doesn't have a home because the West is his home. No. Saruman does have a home.
Hmm.
He has settled down in Middle-earth.
Interesting.
And I think when we read about him later, that's kind of presented as, and it's sort of even here, sort of presented as his first mistake. Because he forgets that this isn't where he's from. And then that's when he starts not encouraging other people to oppose Sauron. Yeah. And even eventually to not oppose Sauron at all. But
well, he eventually turns into encouraging people to work with Sauron.
Yeah. But his opposition is, I need forces and soldiers. And that's what he's like, a mini Sauron.
Yeah. Yeah, he is. And his goal here is to depose Sauron and become the new one.
Yeah.
Basically.
And he's like, we need power to oppose. Like, this is sort of this fight fire with fire attitude. Yeah. That Gandalf just completely disavows.
Which is good, which he should.
Yeah.
That's not his role.
And I think that's really fascinating because, like, we talked about this at the end of the last episode as well, is Sauron is blinding himself or is lying to himself that he can oppose the West. Yeah. Which he can't. Like, sooner or later, like, he's an immortal being, but sooner or later, judgment is going to come. This is like a very Christian fantasy world. Yeah.
Like Narnia. It's an allegory.
Not an allegory.
Oh, fine.
But Sauron thinks he can have his own realm, that he can conquer everything, that he can hold on to this power.
And no.
No.
That's not how that works.
Saruman sees Sauron. He's like, maybe he's right. He should get out of the picture. I should be in charge instead. I could do a lot better than he is.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe he's onto something. He starts behaving just like him. And he isn't inspiring people to oppose Sauron. And he's using the tactics that were explicitly forbidden to the wizards.
Yeah. Interesting. I guess you would, if his role is to help counsel people, right? Well, one thing he used to do was go seek out others' advice by going into Gondor and reading the text and whatever it is. I get the impression he hasn't done that in a while.
Yes.
And
he's just stayed in his own place.
Yes.
Which is sort of parallel to the problem of like the hobbits. Like if you just stay in your own home and don't go anywhere.
Yeah.
It's not exactly the same, but it shares that similarity.
He is working a lot more than the hobbits are, but he's nefarious instead of... They're useless, but he's actually evil.
Yeah, so Saruman is definitely forsaken his duty.
Not a good guy.
And we'll talk about this some more, but Radagast also isn't doing his duty.
Mm-hmm.
His mission, I think, is probably a little different.
Yeah.
Because he was sent by a nature goddess.
Okay.
Different gods sent different people.
Yeah.
Like Sauron was the servant of the god of craftsmen, basically.
Okay.
And Saruman also is.
Oh.
It's interesting.
That is curious.
But
is this all in the Silmarillion?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I think so.
No.
Maybe in the
I'm very interested in reading.
This is one of the most fascinating parts to me because it informs a lot about the wizards.
Yeah.
And I've already talked a lot, but I'll continue a little bit more here.
Okay. Sure.
Is Gandalf was associated with several different gods, but notably this goddess of grief, who is sad about evil, but is going to try to do something about evil. That's the person Gandalf was most associated with.
Okay.
It's interesting.
Huh.
But the wizard's mission is to encourage people, don't fight for them.
Mm-hmm.
You'll see Gandalf is very reluctant to use his power, except in like really obvious circumstances, like when there's a Balrog.
Yeah.
Like that's the only time you really see him functioning at full power. Like he doesn't fight for people. And he has opinions on what people should do. Yeah. But he doesn't force them. He doesn't ever force anyone to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
And we can sort of see that with his interaction with Bilbo at the end.
Yeah, that would
explain.
Saruman
is very happy now to force people. Mm-hmm. And Tolkien writes that Gandalf is the only wizard who comes back into the West. And there were 5 wizards who were sent.
Oh, that's depressing.
Yeah. Blue wizards, sort of nebulous.
We just don't know who they are. We don't even have names.
Tolkien they do sort of in some notes, but not in any of the actual stories.
Okay.
And Tolkien goes back and forth. At first he says they probably failed and started weird cults in the East. And,
okay. Very descriptive, yeah.
And later he says maybe they were sent before the other wizards and maybe they weakened Sauron's power later. So I think he started like changing what he thought about them later on in his life. But one thing he did write around the time of this is Gandalf is the only wizard who goes back into the West. Like everyone else. And that seems to imply that Radagast fails. Yeah. Even though his mission may have been a little bit different. Yeah. He's also introduced as having a home, which is interesting. Like he's not overtly evil like Saruman. Yeah. But he's not acting. Yeah. And I think that's probably relevant because I think all of them were commanded to oppose Saruman. Yeah. Or Sauron, rather. I'm pretty sure. Saruman that would make sense. And like everyone except Radagast for sure, but I think Radagast also. Yeah. But Radagast is introduced as having a home. He's like, he dwelled in Rosgobel for a time, and he usually wouldn't leave there. Yeah. So that's sort of like really close to like the Hobbit problem, as far as I can tell.
Yeah. So he is very Hobbit, which is very complacent, not overtly evil, but the sitting,
or not even a little evil.
Yeah, but like with Gandalf, right? The sitting back, where good men let evil prosper.
Yeah. Radagast must have some power. Like he is a wizard.
A problem.
But he isn't. We never read about him helping anybody.
Yeah. So
he'll probably help some animals, but
curious. Yeah, his rabbits.
He's just doing a little
run
bit.
his sled.
That was a pretty fun scene.
That's so stupid. I hate it. It's the worst part of the first Hobbit. Anyway, the first Hobbit movie. Everything else in that movie is great. That is stupid. That's not. So did the gods assign the wizards their colors?
Yeah.
That was just like natural when they arrived, I guess.
The only thing we have to know about color, as far as I can tell, is white symbolizes being head of the order.
Yeah.
Which I think probably equates to power level.
Yeah.
I'm using quotations with my hand.
Yeah.
It probably equates to power level to some extent.
Yeah. Maybe.
But the only clear thing is white is for the head of the wizard.
And that was assigned.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which would mean that's assigned by the gods to some extent, which would mean Saruman, even if Saruman thinks it's a good idea to go many colors, he's rejecting the god's role for him.
Yeah, and that's exactly it. He's not interested in their mission anymore.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that makes him bad.
Yeah.
When you ignore God and do whatever you want to, you're probably a bad person.
Very obviously bad.
That seems like a biblical parallel.
Yeah.
So he does make a ring, just like Sauron.
Yes.
He does grow an army of orcs and wolves
and
just
men.
like Sauron, and ultimately men as well.
Yeah.
He is using the weapons of the enemy. Trying to read this, the movies I think simplify it and basically say Saruman is a servant of Sauron.
Yeah,
That
it's
is
a little more complicated.
It is, yeah. That makes sense for the movies to have simplified it that way, but also it's not exactly what's happening.
Saruman is willing to kind of fess up and work with Sauron if he has to.
Yeah,
but he's building a power and rival.
Yeah. Yeah, he would rather be the Lord of the Ring,
and that's his ultimate power, his ultimate goal.
Yeah, but it's almost like if Gandalf's not willing to work with him, then he has to do it by himself. He would just ally with Sauron and work with him, I think is the sense that I got.
Something like that.
Okay, yeah.
If he has Gandalf on side, he feels a lot more confident about outright opposing Sauron.
Yeah. So he's in many ways trying to manipulate Sauron and either get the better of him or at least get along with him. And that's not going to go very well. He thinks, and he brings up, you have the Ring of Power there. So he thinks Gandalf has deceived him the whole time, which Gandalf has not. No. Because Gandalf was told the ring didn't exist by Saruman. So if anything, Saruman has shot himself in the foot.
Yeah, so Saruman is seeing himself in Gandalf.
Yeah.
It's like, I lied to him. He's probably lying to me.
Yeah.
That happens
far too often. He is projecting his failings.
Yeah.
On somebody else. If he had told Gandalf,
if I realize the mission from the gods is useless, then surely he knows, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that could be. Even if he had just started with Gandalf and said, look, I from what I know, the ring is lost in the river. That's all I know. Mm-hmm. If he had the humility to say something like that, Gandalf might have brought it up to him a lot sooner. Yeah. But Saruman was very insistent. No, the ring was lost in the river.
His pride has hurt him.
Yes.
On every possible level.
Yes.
It's even hurt his ability to be as powerful as he wants to.
Yeah. He can't be as evil as he wants to be because he's so evil, which is really stupid. Well, but it happens. It happens.
I think that's true.
Yeah.
I think it's really true.
Yeah, it is. And we're glad. Yeah. We're glad that he's stupid in that. But
and that's sort of what Gandalf will say. And they even talk about this about Sauron later on. It's in short, evil gives the opportunity for its own destruction.
Yeah. Yeah, which is a blessing. Mm-hmm. Right. That's the way you get rid of it. Saruman, so he wants the One Ring. He now knows that it's in the Shire. He now knows that Gandalf knows where it is, basically. And so that's why he called Gandalf to him, and he's going to torture Gandalf until he gets the answer.
They have this...
Essentially.
It must be a wizard thing. They have this competition of one-liners for most of their conversations.
Yeah, it's
you might find that is not as easy as you think to keep me prisoner. I said, even though it was not true. That's
Gandalf the Wise. Gandalf the
Fool. What is it?
He hits Radagast with that in the book, but that's a great...
Radagast the Brown, Radagast the Bird Tamer, Radagast the Simple, Radagast the Fool. He got him for sure.
Yeah, just dunk on him while the boy's down.
And one of the last things is, we just have to draw attention to this. He says, "I am now Saruman of many colors," and this psychedelic, scintillating color show. And Gandalf just says, "I liked white better."
Yeah, it's very interesting. It's very interesting. It's funny and it's sad and it's really stupid, but it's
the dialogue here is just,
it's great.
It's too much like how people talk today.
Yeah. Yeah. They are very much talking past each other, which is disappointing.
Yeah.
But that's primarily
that's
Saruman's fault.
Saruman's fault. Yeah.
The thing I have brought up 3 times now that I actually want to say is
Sorry.
Saruman wants the ring
Mm-hmm.
because he thinks he can use it to oppose Sauron,
Yes.
which is the same thing the Boromir thinks he can do
Yes.
later on in the chapter,
Yeah.
which is to say that Saruman has not learned the lesson that Aragorn has learned, which
Yeah.
is there is only one Lord of the Ring, which is something that Pippin mentioned earlier.
Oh yeah.
In the last
He's like,
chapter, which we didn't
Hail,
bring up.
Frodo, Lord of the Rings.
And Gandalf says there is only one Lord of the Ring, and so Aragorn, who's the opposite of not Gondor, of Boromir,
Yeah.
Aragorn knows Sauron's the Lord of the Ring, but Boromir doesn't. Frodo knows that Sauron's the Lord of the Ring. Pippin doesn't. Gandalf knows that Sauron's the Lord of the Ring, and Saruman doesn't. And so you have like these weird parallels of people who are mistaken.
Yeah, I really think it's rooted in this idea of reverence for the West.
Yeah.
Boromir's not bad. He's like not opposing the Valar, the gods of the West. He's not opposing them, but
He's just not really
learning
thinking
has
about him.
waned in Gondor.
Yeah.
They don't have that same reverence.
Yeah.
They're focused more on how they can fight themselves.
Yeah.
And Saruman has no excuse for forgetting the West, for failing in reverence.
Yeah.
But he wants to because he's thinking about his selfishness and power instead.
Yeah. Well, the more that you know, the more that you're culpable.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Saruman knows a ton, and he ends up being explicitly horrible and evil. Boromir doesn't know that much. He ends up being rough around the edges and kind of bad as well. Well, he ends up doing some bad things and then turns around at the very end. But, like, yeah, there were problems there. Pippin's just dumb. Like, he's never malicious. He's never actually bad.
Yeah.
He just doesn't know any better. He just said something stupid one time. And so, like, the more someone is aware of the world, the more they're held responsible for it, which is a biblical idea.
Is this perspective, and it's overt in Lord of the Rings.
Very clear.
Is Aragorn, Elrond, and Gandalf and them are thinking about there are powers beyond the powers in this world.
Yeah.
And Sauron and Saruman are trying to forget that.
Yeah.
And Boromir and Pippin just aren't aware of that as much as they should.
Yeah. But the more you become aware of that, the more you're able to actually do what's good and stand up for something that's worthwhile.
Exactly.
Which is very biblical. Do you think Tolkien believed that kind of stuff?
I think he did.
That's crazy.
Yep.
So Saruman devoted himself and his whole land to building an army. He has created a Mordor outside of Mordor.
Mm-hmm.
He is corrupting the entire land around him. Sauron is revealed to Sauron, and Saruman is terrible. I wish that they had slightly different names,
I think
like
that is
even
fair.
more
That's
slightly
fair.
different names. But whatever. Sauron is. Boromir will reveal this later. He has created alliances with the Easterlings and the Haradrim, I believe, which are the men who are in the southeast,
South and East,
essentially, to bring those forth. And Saruman has also been corrupting the men of Rohan, who end up being men to kind of, some of them help his cause, some of them stand against him, but some of them don't. And so he's very much just like copying Sauron's moveset.
Rohan, there's like some resistance there. It's like more complicated.
Yes.
But there is a group of people he has like completely corrupted.
Yes.
Who are the Dunlendings.
Yeah.
Or even closer to Orthanc than Rohan is.
Yeah. And so this is the moment where Gandalf says, I overestimated Butterbur, but I overestimated Sauron, so we're okay.
Yeah. Or doesn't he say Saruman specifically?
No. I forget. No, he says if Sauron had been more powerful, he would have gone ahead and gotten the ring, but
Is that really?
he didn't. I believe so. Oh, where was it? See, I don't write down the specific page numbers.
Yeah, I didn't write
which
this
I
down either.
Probably should.
No, you're right. And my
Yep.
fear was founded on the cunning of Sauron.
Yes.
No, you're right. You got it.
But fat men who sell ale have many calls to answer, and the power of Sauron is still less than fear makes it. Fear is the mind killer.
Yeah.
Amen. That's
The
a great
little
line.
death that comes before annihilation.
Yes, sir, it is. And so this is where, it's actually okay. Like, we survived that somehow. And then the Eagles come and rescue Gandalf, and that's cool.
Yeah. And I think this is neat. It shows it's sort of like an anecdotal thing is like Saruman took advantage of Radagast's innocence.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why Gandalf believed that he should go to Saruman in the first place.
Yeah.
But he's also undone by Radagast's innocence. He's like, oh,
Yeah.
Gandalf said I should send messages to Isengard. And this eagle's like, here just to send some messages. And he's like, oh, you were captured by Saruman. Let me help you out there.
Interesting. Yeah, so the eagle helps him escape, which is cool. And the eagle can't carry Gandalf forever.
No.
So why didn't they just take the eagles? Maybe it's because the eagles can't
They're
carry
not
them
built
forever.
to carry people.
Yeah, so that might be a very simple explanation people often ignore. There may be more to it than that, but also like, oh well. Basically, I can't take you everywhere. I can take you to Rohan.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so he lands in Rohan, and Rohan is odd. They send horses to Mordor, allegedly.
Allegedly.
I don't know. Gandalf says...
We'll have to wait on that. Boromir,
Yes.
or Aragorn and Gandalf both say, this is possible. Boromir says, this is not possible.
Yes.
And everything we've seen from them so far would cause us to expect Boromir to be wrong, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Presumably. So I guess
But I'll leave it at that for now.
we'll find that out in Two Towers Part 1, Book 1, Part 1.
We'll call back to this, the Rohan speculation.
Yes, if we remember. So the king of Rohan has been corrupted by Saruman to some extent, but he still gives Gandalf a horse.
Yeah.
Which is odd. I guess the corruption's not complete.
Well, Gandalf is a little loose with what's said.
Fair enough. Fair enough. They're not the friendliest.
The impression is, like the king says, get out of here and take a horse so you can get out of here as fast as possible.
Yeah,
That's
true.
where the gift is coming from. I'll give you a horse so you can leave faster.
Yeah. And ends up picking the best horse.
Yes. Gandalf's like, okay, I'll just take
fine.
this best horse.
Yeah.
But they're not very happy about that.
Although nobody else in Rohan could ride Shadowfax.
Yeah.
He was rebellious. But Gandalf got to him, which is very interesting. I guess it makes sense. It kind of parallels Gondor because Denethor was also not very helpful,
Yes.
but I guess you can do the thing that you need to.
That's right.
And so they are very, very similar, which is interesting because Rohan and Gondor kind of hate each other. Or at least they don't work together as well as they should. I think that's the
we'll
impression
explore
that I
later.
get. Yeah. Is that more of a movie thing than a book thing?
It's more of a movie thing.
Okay.
It's sort of invented for the movie. Like
Okay.
in Boromir, Boromir says, we love Rohan. And when we meet Eomer in Two Towers, he's going to say, hey, we love Gondor. I've sent some of my guys to help them out every once in a while. So, and you have to remember the distance as well.
Yes.
Like it's not huge, but it's not like they can just
You can't just
do
send your
everything
army
together. Yeah.
the next country over.
Yeah.
So understandable. Okay, I'll have to keep that in mind and reevaluate that as it goes. So Boromir doesn't. He thinks well of them. Gandalf does not, or Gandalf at least implies there may be something more. And so Gandalf gets Shadowfax. It's mentioned a little bit later on. Shadowfax returned to his owner.
Yeah.
I don't know who that is, but he'll come back at some point and help Gandalf.
Yeah. So he goes back to Edoras, back to Theoden.
Okay. Is that all that is?
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
Gandalf's like, I borrowed you. It really
Very
wasn't in the
nice horse.
spirit of the king's command for me to take you, so go on back.
Well, cool.
Yeah.
And Shadowfax will, I
But
assume, be
Gandalf was booking it because
yes.
he says he was in Rohan about the time that Frodo was on the Barrow Downs, and yet he gets to like Buckland or no Hobbiton when Frodo's in Bree.
Yeah.
He's going as fast as he can.
Yeah. What is it? I reached the Shire when Frodo was in the Barrow Downs. Even though when Frodo first left Bag End, or maybe it's Hobbiton in general. When he first left Bag End, I was in Rohan, so he made it halfway across the world in like 3 days.
It's like that's sort of an exaggeration, but that's about right.
Yeah, I mean,
it's close.
that is a Newman horse. What a cool guy. So essentially it allowed Gandalf to follow the hobbits to Bree. He was there a couple days afterwards. He actually beats them to Weathertop
Yeah.
because he takes the straight road and he has a fast horse versus
He
Strider
can't
and the
just
hobbits
go
on
through the
foot
forest.
who are going back and forth and getting mildly lost in the swamplands. And this is where he runs into the wraiths, which explains the whole flashing lights that Aragorn was worried about. Gandalf says something like, there hasn't been fire like that for a long time. And so obviously when Aragorn would see something like that, that would confuse him or worry him because he knows something horrible is happening. It does mention that the wraiths are already on Weathertop, which is something Aragorn expected they would do. He said the wraiths would probably come up here to get a view of the countryside. So Aragorn was right, even though the wraiths weren't there and they only came after the darkness came. They also do that with Gandalf.
Yeah.
They are on there, they leave, and they wait until the sun has set before they actually come back onto Weathertop and fight him. And they fight him, he holds them off, and then runs.
And I probably do have to say something about the Nazgul here.
Yes.
It would probably be like the last complaint sort of about the Nazgul.
Yeah.
I'm going to complain again, reinforce my main complaint,
Yeah.
but offer an answer to that as well. Is Gandalf says, and it's a good thing that I was there because I took away 4 of them.
Yeah.
So you weren't completely overwhelmed.
Yeah.
But I reject that premise because, like, as far as I can tell, the 5 weren't driven off. Like, even Aragorn says they could have kept fighting, but they chose to leave after Frodo was stabbed. So they didn't like to keep fighting, but it seems like they probably could have.
Yeah.
And sure, it was kind of scary there, but it just, I don't know. It's iffy to me.
Yeah.
Would having 4 more others really have changed what they were doing there? Like, maybe, I guess.
Yeah. It could have, but like, I get the sense Gandalf is more powerful than Aragorn.
Oh, yeah. Like,
And 4 of them are running Gandalf off. Right. Under 9 of them fought him, I think.
yes.
But 4 of them are chasing him actively, and he's running from them. So for 5 of them to then be against Aragorn and the hobbits, mincemeat
Yeah,
is what
that's
that
what
is.
I think.
Yeah. So,
But here's a couple interesting things. It goes
but they're
back
also
to,
lazy.
I think so.
Yeah.
It goes back to there's a power in the Shire. The wraiths are scary, but they sort of seem kind of mundane, easily driven away
Yeah.
while they're in the Shire.
Yes.
I wonder if that is like a like that's evidence of the power in the Shire.
The Shire is
Like
resistant.
you can't get much further away from Mordor than the Shire, like geographically.
Yeah.
But also like even like culturally, like a culture of evil and fear against happy, innocent culture of the hobbits, you know?
Yeah.
I wonder if it's like that. This sounds sort of weird and metaphysical, but the hobbits are like generating that kind of spiritual goodness in their culture,
Yes.
and that is actively weakening the wraiths.
Yeah.
So that they, you know,
Could be.
have trouble like conducting their investigation. Like they don't want to be overtly villainous and like violent because they're not very strong there.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
even like
that could be.
Yeah.
I don't know.
and like in Lord of the Rings, like the sun is sort of like literally a goddess.
Oh, okay. That's cool, I guess.
It's sort of like Elrond's dad sort of being the North Star, you know. So at least as far as the mythology goes, like the sun is a goddess, the moon's a goddess.
Yeah.
But there's nothing for the darkness. Like light is an evidence of like divine Western goodness.
Yeah.
And darkness not so much.
Yeah.
And so they, of course, they don't fight Gandalf during the day because like they're actively being hindered.
Yeah.
But they can.
Darkness is just the absence of
night.
light. It's the absence of there being something good,
So
which solves the whole problem of evil for people who try and debate that. But you know, that's a whole different issue.
So there's that we wasn't even as structured or direct as I was hoping, but that's what I have to say about Nazgul.
Yeah, they are interesting. I wish we knew a little less about them. I wish there were only a couple on Weathertop. Basically,
We will see later on,
Yeah.
like once they're on the other side of the river, like basically Sauron's side of the river, and once they like have evil creatures to command,
Yes.
there's like a new side to their villainy.
Yes.
And I think maybe the power of the Shire thought, or thinking about the power of the Shire, kind of provides a good explanation for that.
Yeah. But even, yeah, it could well. It doesn't really solve the Weathertop thing. That's the big issue.
I agree.
Have you haven't read Wheel of Time?
No.
You've read the first like little bit of?
I've read the first book and the prequel.
Yeah, that's terrible. But the it rips off a lot of what Tolkien does. Yeah. But it's so good. It's incredible.
I enjoyed those books.
And I'm
I guess intimidated by the length of the series.
Yeah. Same. I'm only halfway through. I've been halfway through for like 3 years at this point. But work had me read so much, so I didn't end up reading for fun anytime.
That's real.
Yeah. So, but yeah, they have the guys in the black cloaks. I forget exactly what they're called in that series.
Yeah, but they're like these faceless, horrible creatures.
Yeah, they are very similar to like the wraiths and stuff. But you only ever see like one of them. The Myrddraal, I believe they are.
Yeah, that's right.
And yeah, they are commanders of armies much more so than actually getting in there themselves. So, just interesting. I would prefer that kind of approach, and that's where the Nazgul kind of end up as army commanders rather than actual on the field soldiers or like spies. They're very distinctive. They're like not very good at that. So, I don't know. Yeah. I'm just trying to make excuses for why Weathertop makes sense, and it really doesn't. But oh well. So Gandalf ends his section finally, blessedly, with the note that this is the nothing like this has ever happened before, that a wizard has been late, essentially. A wizard is never late, except, I guess, when another wizard imprisons him.
That's the only thing we can see.
That's the only thing
wizards aren't late except when opposed by other wizards.
Yeah. And so wizards determine all the timing of the world, I guess, would be one weird application of that. But like this is very much a new era, because one of the wizards has turned bad, and the Ring of Power has been found, and the Nazgul are out again, and Sauron's growing again, and he's in Mordor again instead of being off in the woods somewhere.
Things are in place.
Yeah.
And that's sort of what Aragorn told Boromir earlier, is, hey, it's not that Minas Tirith, the prophecy doesn't mean Minas Tirith is going to be destroyed.
Yeah.
But doom and great deeds are at hand. Like, something is going down.
Mm-hmm. And ultimately, Minas Tirith won't get destroyed, but there will be a lot of doom right at the gates, which is called Pelennor Fields, which is apparently very cool.
You don't even understand, man. It is amazing.
It is amazing. It better be amazing. You're gonna hype this up, and then it's gonna be less than perfect, and I'm gonna say,
no, bro. I cry every time I read that chapter.
Okay, if you start crying into the microphone, I will be very upset.
I'll try not to do that.
But I'll be gone at that point. It'll be online, so I'll just watch it. It'll be very odd. So that's Gandalf's monologue. Basically, it's the same thing of like times are changing. Yeah, people need to change with them. The time for your old grievances is over. We've got new grievances. Like we need to deal with this stuff. And the time for dwelling on Gandalf's words is over because we're 45 minutes in and we need to talk about all the rest of this. Yeah. So, honestly though, we only have pages? 10 pages left, something like that. So Elrond starts talking again.
Yes.
And this is where he mentioned, I think I referenced this maybe last episode, that Saruman studied the enemy so much that he fell into the same corruption as the enemy. It can be dangerous to be naive, super naive like the hobbits are, but it can be also dangerous to be way too aware of what evil is out there, like Saruman is. He focused on it so much and he spent so much time with it that he ended up becoming it, which is not where you want to be. I think the implication is he started for a good reason, and he started for a good cause, but he went too far, and he didn't even recognize it. He wasn't able to check himself before he wrecked himself.
Yes.
That's a great phrase. I like that phrase.
Check yourself before you wreck yourself.
It's good. And so, yeah, Rip Saruman, he's gone. We can't rely on him. Tom Bombadil.
Yes.
We can rely on him. No, we can't.
We have, it's mostly the elves talking.
Yes.
Until Boromir speaks up with like the radical opinion.
Yes.
But we got, I think Aristor is the elf who says, well, what about Bombadil? We could give it to Bombadil.
Yeah.
And this elf from the Grey Haven sent by Círdan, Galdor, says, and we'll explore these more specific, but the thing is, Bombadil, is that an option? Gandalf's like, well, I don't think we can win through fighting, right? What do we do?
Yeah.
Glorfindel's like, well, let's do what Saruman said. Let's make his prophecy real. Let's throw this into the sea.
Yeah.
And Glorfindel's option and Aristor's option, Bombadil or the ocean, are both two versions of just waiting.
Yeah.
And I think we've seen it from
Doing nothing and hoping the problem goes away.
and I think we've seen from just about every possible combination of people or characters that waiting is usually
does
bad.
not work.
Like, you don't want to rush into some stupid decision.
Yeah.
Which we've seen the flip side of that with like Frodo hopping on the table singing about a cow jumping over the moon.
Yeah.
That wasn't good.
Does not end well.
But neither
Frodo putting
is-
on the ring in front of the ring race does not end well.
Yeah. neither is waiting overly long. Or when you have the option to do something, choosing not to do it.
Yeah.
Which is Glorfindel's great. You know, wisdom was on his brow in the last description.
Yeah.
But this is folly. And Elrond calls him out on it. He's like, no, can't do that.
This is a bad idea.
Yeah.
To him who knows the right thing to do and does not do it, to him it is sin.
Yes.
That's biblical.
James.
So yeah, Tom Bombadil, he isn't corruptible by the ring, or rather the ring just like can't corrupt him.
Yeah.
But that the implication there is he would underestimate the ring. He would just like forget about it. He would throw it away because it just doesn't matter to him.
The degree to which elves are legitimately above mortals, or like distinct, maybe is a better word.
Yeah.
Like Bombadil like outstrips that difference, like between even like elves and whatever Bombadil is.
Yeah.
Like he does not interact or think of the world the same way. Like he isn't mortal or human or elf or whatever.
Yeah. The problem is you have to have someone who understands the danger of it to keep it contained. Because if they don't understand it, then like they'll just let it go.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter. And so he could delay for a little bit, but it might end up worse. Right? Old Man Willow gets hold of the ring and suddenly...
Well, see, that would be bad. I think
that would be pretty bad.
I think that could be the Treepocalypse.
The hobbits would die.
Little known alternate timeline.
Yeah. He resettles the Shire and just puts a bunch of trees there. So sending the ring away isn't going to fix the problem. Hiding the ring is not going to fix the problem. The only all it's going to do is delay longer, and the longer that it delays, the more time Sauron has to actually reform himself and become stronger. Yeah. So that's going to be bad. And Elrond just says, we have one option here, which is get rid of the ring, and that means it has to go to Mordor to do it.
Yeah.
Or it had a silly little name later or earlier.
What, the Cracks of Doom?
No, it was something.
Oh, Orodruin?
Yeah, whatever that means. It's just Mount Doom.
Yeah.
Orodruin.
Druin.
Yeah, that one.
Orodruin.
Boromir references it once, and it was said earlier. Basically,
that we call Mount Doom.
Yeah, the ring needs to go into Mordor to get destroyed. Who's gonna do it?
Yeah.
This is where Boromir speaks up again.
Whoa. Everyone's speaking about destroying this thing. But could we not use it? It is a gift.
Yeah. And Gandalf says, well, he doesn't even say it, but like, did you not hear me just talk about Saruman who thought he could use it, and like how this is not going to work well?
Yeah.
And
there's a hint. Yeah. There's a hint here that's very interesting. Boromir's like, someone powerful could use this, right?
Yeah.
And Elrond says, I'm not going to use it. Gandalf says, I'm not going to use it.
Yeah.
And then Boromir, he waits for a second and he says, well, if the wise won't use it, then I guess no one will use it. Which that drips with so much that's unsaid. It's like, you can tell, and maybe it's just because you know where this is going, but you can tell, like, he's like, well, maybe I could use it if these guys are too lazy to do anything.
Yeah. He is willing to submit.
Yes.
But it is definitely not the most understanding of submitting that I've ever seen.
Yes.
Like, he is not.
He's not very convinced.
No. But, maybe if we get a dig in at Aragorn while he's here, Maybe if you're as strong as you say you are, then we can use you instead.
That is a dig for sure.
Yeah, kind of rude. He is just...
And all Aragorn says is, we'll find out.
Maybe. Like, well, I'll get there one day.
Yeah.
I'll do it, which Boromir's not going to like that day. Boromir here would not like that day. Boromir
exactly.
at the end of this book would be okay with
so.
it. But rip Boromir. Love that guy. But there's also the mention here that, like, sure, say for the moment that we could, right? Somebody takes the ring and doesn't get corrupted and goes evil. Somebody gets the ring and actually does use it to kill Sauron. Then they would just become the new Sauron.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they would also become a problem because absolute power corrupts absolutely, or something like that. If you can overthrow a minor god, but like still kind of a god, then what can you not do on the earth? And so that would just end poorly. Saruman started thinking about that kind of power, and it has corrupted him. And so just even the idea behind it can be bad for people. Better to just get rid of it. You're not going to solve any of the problems.
Yeah.
So, anything else before it moves into general conversation, closing out the end of this council?
I don't think so.
Cool.
It's like you kind of, I'm not sure exactly what to call this, but we kind of get a window into the Elven Gambit.
Yes.
Which I think is worth unpacking a little bit.
Then unpack it.
Okay. Yeah. So the elves have these rings of power.
Yes, they do.
The one,
Bro, I saw them make that in the show. The Rings of Power show.
No, wear a blindfold, man.
3 rings cannot be corrupted because there are 3 of them. I know Sauron told you how to do it.
I'm crying.
I know he was there. He watched you make them, but they are definitely good. Trust.
No. So is that...
I hate...
It's sort of the reverse.
Yes.
Like in Eregion, the elves teach Sauron how to perfect this ring craft.
Yes. But did you know that the greatest elven smith of all time didn't know how to combine metals together? Oh my goodness.
So anyway,
that was a whole plot.
So the elves have these rings, and we like all of Tolkien's magic. It's not explained exactly what they do.
No.
But Elrond says they allow us. They don't give us power for battle.
Yeah.
And it's implied that the reason, like, Imladris is so wonderful and magical, and even that Lothlorien is so wondrous and magical, is because they're ruled by... Elrond doesn't say who has the rings, but spoilers. Like,
it's Elrond.
It's Elrond and Galadriel. And Círdan had a ring.
Of the Grey Havens.
Yeah. He doesn't have it anymore because he gave it to Gandalf.
Yep.
But these rings allow for, like, the preservation of really good things.
Yep.
Huh?
No.
Okay.
No. I was just trying to think of the names of them because it's like Narya.
Oh, yeah, I don't remember.
And
Nenya. Yeah,
and
Vinya. Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, Vilya.
And I just...
They're sort of funny names.
Yeah, they're
Nenya
funny
business.
names. Yeah.
Someone asks, Boromir asks, who has those rings? Or Glowin does. Mm-hmm. And Elrond basically says, Nenya business. I don't think that's his ring.
Oh, yeah, I don't think so. It would be a good bit.
Yeah. But these elves have these rings. And they allow them to, like, rule these great and, like, really, like, bastions of morality and power to oppose evil.
Yeah.
And they say, okay, what's going to happen? And you say the power of all these other rings will be broken because Saruman made a ring that will have power over all the elven ring, or all the rings of power. And the thing that's kind of in the balances is he would have power over those who wore the elven rings.
Yeah.
Because it's a ring of dominion. His is.
Sauron's one is.
Sauron's is a ring of dominion. And so...
Which is why it dominates the will of whoever wears it.
Yeah.
Right.
And so the elves hope that if the one ring was destroyed, then their rings would be fine. Mm-hmm. But Elrond says, I hope that. Yeah. But I don't think that's what's going to happen.
Because the elven rings were the only ones that were made without Sauron's input. Yeah. And so theoretically, you can destroy all of the bad ones and the good ones still remain. These are rings of knowledge, understanding, making, healing, and preserving.
Yeah.
All things unstained, which is a nice picture. Mm-hmm. But there's a possibility that their rings break as well.
Yeah. And something Elrond feels basically certain about is this ring was made to have dominion. So when it's gone,
all the rings
everything it had dominion over is gone.
Yeah.
which is interesting because that's the one like really evil, sad thing
Mhm.
about destroying the ring.
Yeah.
Is Lothlorien and Rivendell are like these wonderful bastions of goodness.
Yeah.
But it sort of ties back into this theme of you can't make a kingdom here.
Mhm.
And we've seen that's true for Sauron and for Saruman.
Yeah.
But it's true for the elves as well. And like Galadriel is one of the elves who left the West.
Mhm.
And one of the
Yeah.
reasons was it's explicitly mentioned in the Silmarillion. She was interested in ruling her own kingdom.
Oh.
And she matures a lot,
That's good.
but that was one of her motivations for leaving when she was young.
Okay.
And they have ruled well. But this isn't the end of the story.
Mhm.
People can't make earth into heaven.
Yeah.
Now we can argue about whether God's going to do that or not, but
Yeah.
people can't do that.
Yeah. At the very least.
Heaven will always be heaven,
Mhm.
and earth won't be, even when you have like really powerful and wise people attempting to. Like there's maybe if everyone was like Elrond, maybe Middle Earth could have been like the West.
Yeah.
But you got your Saurons and your Sarumans.
Yeah.
And so that's just not the way it's going to go.
It is very interesting, right? The capacity for good is only equal and opposite to the capacity for evil. If you are Pippin, you are dumb and stupid.
Yeah.
But you can't do much. Like you're not going to do much good. You're not going to do much evil, and you can mature and increase in your capacity. Sure. Saruman, on the other hand, can do a lot of good, or he can do a lot of evil because he's very capable, and stuff like that. It is interesting to see the equal and opposite of the rings, right?
Yeah.
Sauron's evil allows there to be places of absolute good, which is Rivendell, which can resist that, right, and push back against it. But as soon as that absolute evil goes away, so does the absolute good.
I
Right.
see.
Which
That's interesting.
also solves the problem of evil because, like, as soon as the extremes go away, then there is less good in the world, but there's also less evil in the world. And Elrond thinks it's a worthy sacrifice. That I would rather get rid of that evil and get it gone,
That's true.
even if it costs me Rivendell and how perfect it is.
And that is incredibly like it's just a quick line in the book,
Yeah.
and like maybe there's some stuff missing. Like I'm getting more from it because I'm familiar with the Silmarillion,
Mm-hmm.
but it is like really courageous, even though it's just a quick line.
Yeah.
It's like we're willing to give up everything we have here.
Yeah.
For there to be greater good and the
Mhm.
victory of good.
Yeah. For there to be, less evil, right?
Mhm.
We're willing to give up even the perfect places of the world. I would rather abandon that than have evil rule and rule many other people, because ultimately evil would come against them anyway.
Yeah.
And so it would be better to just get rid of that now.
Mhm.
So it's worth causing yourself some other problems if you're able to rip that thing out of your life,
Yeah.
which is their whole goal, to save the world.
Yeah.
Um,
There's so many rich lines.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And so part of the reason they can get away with this is because Sauron, number one, doesn't think anybody's able to resist the ring,
Yeah.
And
Like,
no-
everyone wants power. I want power.
which
Yeah.
is honestly pretty accurate.
It is.
Aragorn resists some of the pull of it, but part of that is he just never touches it,
Mhm.
right? He just never wants to get close to it. There are very few individuals in this world who are actually capable of resisting it. And so he's kind of right on that. He also doesn't think anybody is stupid enough to walk into Mordor with it,
Yeah.
which is also kind of true. But as they've discussed, there is no other option. And
Yeah.
so while Sauron is thinking that we're going to take the ring on the road and go west with it, we should just go east with it and let's get rid of this thing while he's not paying attention, essentially, is their plot.
Yeah.
Which is a pretty good plot as far as things go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Elrond says this quest, this road to Mordor, will not be accomplished through might or wisdom.
No.
It could be done. What is it? Just as well as by the foolish as the wise, something like that.
Maybe attempted by the weak with as much hope as the strong.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
All right, so you
Which
gotta
is-
have your wisdom, but this isn't gonna be again. This is against Boromir.
Yeah.
Won't be accomplished through strength of arms.
You are not going to send an army into Mordor, but
Mhm.
you might walk into it if there are only like one or two of you, which is ultimately how it's exactly going to happen.
Yeah.
And of course, it's at this line, like, hey, the weak people could get this done, that Bilbo stands up and says, well, it's obvious you want me to take the ring.
Yeah, hey, that's some healthy humility right there. Oh, you're talking about me.
Which
Mr.
is
Weak over here.
almost, he's like 90% there. He is wanting a hobbit to go take it, but it's not ultimately Bilbo.
Yeah.
Bilbo's time has passed.
And Boromir starts to kind of laugh at Bilbo, but everyone else realizes he's being serious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody knows, like, Bilbo has gone a long way with this. But no, it's not his job anymore.
Yeah. And the reason is sort of twofold, but it's not really like talked about. One is he's really old.
Yeah.
And the age is one of those things that does cut you out of certain things.
Yeah.
Your options will get narrower there.
Mm-hmm.
And
Nothing
also,
wrong with
as
that.
we saw in the previous chapter,
That's how it goes.
The ring has basically like overcome him.
Yeah.
Like he forsook the ring at the end.
Yeah.
That's to his credit, but it has too much of power over him for him to take it up again.
Yeah. Going in, engaging that again is not going to go well for him.
Yeah. And it's sort of the last reminder here. This is going to be Frodo's story, not Bilbo's story.
Yeah. Finish your book. And there's more story to tell about somebody else.
Yes.
But you've already had this. You've already played your part. And even the way that Gandalf couches it is, you really didn't start this.
Yes.
Like, this is not your problem to deal with anymore.
Yeah.
You got it to this point, right? You got it to where it's here. You brought it from Gollum. You got it over here. If you hadn't done that, we wouldn't have any idea of any of this.
Yeah.
But you've done your work. And so now it's somebody else's
It's sort of
turn.
like Elrond framing this decision in the context of just the fight against evil for all time.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, but this you're not solely responsible. Like
It's
people
bigger
are
than you.
always going to be fighting evil.
Yeah.
And it is this passing the torch. Like I'm old. I can't fight on this front anymore. But as we're going to see, like Frodo still can.
Yeah. And Bilbo says, "This is the first nice advice you've given me, and all the unpleasant advice has been right. So I wonder if you're wrong on this one, but the ring has grown and I have not.
Yes.
Which is its power is
that's a good
greater
phrase.
and I am weaker.
See, this is why I like this chapter.
I should not
There's a lot of
deal
good
with that.
phrases here.
Yeah. See, if half of what Gandalf said was cut out, then we can get to the good stuff a lot faster. It is interesting.
You're not entirely
It
wrong.
is interesting.
What's some of this last?
Yeah.
Okay, there are a couple other things here. It's still long. You were right to cut it when you did. I thought you were crazy, but you were very right.
Yeah,
That's a good thing you're here.
Thank you. I like that. I appreciate
Not just
that.
for that, but
Let's
for
go.
that.
Yeah.
One thing I think is interesting. I forgot to write down page number, so I won't be able to reference it specifically.
Terrible. Give the wrong page.
But one of the explanations in regard to like waiting instead of going to Mordor, is, would the gods take this away? Could they guard it? Sauron couldn't get them, and Elrond's like, this isn't their problem. He says, we can't send that to the west. He says, too often have we gone to the west. Which is interesting. Or too often have we fled that way. And I think that helps us interpret it. The problem isn't the west. The problem is fleeing.
Interesting.
If you're going back to the west because you realize, okay, we can't make great kingdoms here. We need to ask for forgiveness or something like that.
Yeah.
That's a good reason to go to the west. But Elrond recognizes all that, but he's staying not because he wants to hold on to a kingdom anymore.
Yeah.
But because he wants to help stop evil and he wants to help people.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why Glorfindel is here.
Yeah.
I think that's a neat nuance here.
And that's because at the end of the book they do migrate to
after
the west,
that,
right?
then they do leave.
Yeah.
Like right after.
Yeah. It's not that they don't hate the west. They just know that they've been assigned a task essentially.
Yeah.
And we need to get this done before we cross over to the other side, which is fairly biblical. But
it is. Yeah. So I think that was interesting because we've been talking a lot
Yeah.
about how the west is good,
mm-hmm.
and Elrond says, "Don't flee to the west."
Yeah.
And maybe we met Gildor earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Gildor is fleeing. I know we don't know enough about him to say his motivations.
Yeah, he's probably a bad guy. He's an elf.
He does a lot of good things.
Yeah.
But we see elves who are doing good before leaving.
Yeah.
And that seems to be the greater good, the more moral thing to do.
Yeah. Probably depends on a lot about their different situations, but yeah.
Certainly.
Either one. Like Sam says, it's kind of hard to pass judgment on what they're doing because they're just different.
Mm-hmm.
They've got a different role. But so Bilbo's not going to go.
No.
And so everybody kind of shuts up and waits for somebody to volunteer.
Yeah.
Is the goal. So I guess
and you can like Aragorn's like I don't think you can kind of get in a couple characters' heads because they've just said like Saruman was corrupted even just by the thought of this.
Yeah.
And here
Gandalf
it is. Right,
isn't going to take this. That was made clear in chapters 1 and 2.
And Gandalf even reiterated that. He
Yeah.
says, I won't take the ring.
Yeah.
Aragorn said, I won't take the ring. And like these are like these good moral people.
Yeah.
But earlier you said like the capability, I'm going to misquote you. It was a good quote, but your capability to do evil is equal to your capability to do good.
Yeah.
Gandalf is probably one of the greatest like do-gooders, non-derogatorily, in the world.
Yeah.
So he's like, if I grab that, maybe, but if I fall, it's so bad. And Aragorn, that's true to a lesser extent.
Yeah. And Galadriel's the same way, and she vocalizes that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not exactly, but basically.
But you offer me the chance to do so much good, and I think Gandalf did say it earlier, maybe in chapter 2, that you were like, I would take this out of a desire to do good, and then it would not go well.
Yeah,
like
that's how it would start.
Yeah, which is where Saruman was, which is where he did not end up. Yeah. He walked away from.
So there's these really powerful workers of good.
Yeah.
And like, I would be tempted too much by having easy power.
Yeah.
I can't grab that.
Yeah. And to his credit, Boromir does not speak up and try to take it.
Yes.
For the moment.
And that's noteworthy.
Yeah. But maybe he's just intimidated. Instead, it falls to Frodo, who is so dumb he doesn't even know which road to take.
Yeah.
But that's okay. Like, that's useful in this circumstance because
very beautiful.
He can't do much to help, but he can't do much to hurt, which is very much kind of what Butterbur was in.
And that's part of it. Was also just as an uncommon courage as well.
It is.
Like just saying like you're not as wise or like capable as other people. It's true. That's one reason why he's the right choice. But also like, and it's like what he did at the end of chapter 2, which this chapter parallels. Chapter 2 parallels.
Chapter 2 is parallel to
Gandalf
chapter 2.
Says, right now you're in charge of the ring. I don't know if you're going to keep being in charge of it, but you should probably get this thing to Rivendell.
Yeah.
And Frodo says, when push comes to shove, he says, I want to help oppose Sauron.
Yeah.
And you can, even right here, no doubt he's thinking about his homeland. And now he's hearing about other people, like Glóin and the elves. And he wants to help them too.
Yeah.
So he's not thinking about himself.
Yeah.
And we've spent a lot of time with him. We know he's flawed. But when push comes to shove, he's like, okay, I'm going to do this, but I'm going to need some help.
Unbridled heroism.
Yeah.
Right. It's like the images of Gandalf and Elrond and Glorfindel, like absolutely idealized.
Yes.
But it's true and it's there and it's real. And you don't have to undercut that by saying, he's actually a terrible conniving person who is just doing it for his own self-interest. It's just actually, these are just heroic people. There's a reason this story sticks with people where other stories that cut down heroes don't. Right.
Yes.
And it's cool. I like seeing that. There is a very explicit mention, an overwhelming longing to rest and remain at peace by Bilbo's side in Rivendell filled all his heart. And then he doesn't do that because just like Aragorn is doing, right? He can't rest yet. It's not time for that. Bilbo got to rest because he did his work. And so Frodo has to go as well.
That's also like explicitly true for Gandalf and Elrond as well. Like
Yeah.
we could go back home to the west. Like that's our home. but not yet. We have work to do.
Y'all need help.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so this is the moment where Elrond says, well, I couldn't ask you to do it, but since you volunteered, that's really good.
Yeah.
Because like I can't put it on you, but since you're taking this willingly, that is the right choice.
Mm-hmm.
And we do need you to do that.
Yeah.
So thanks for volunteering. And it is the only correct choice, but it is still a choice.
Yes.
Which is a play on fate and predestination and, questions about that. But still, he ends up picking well. And this is the moment where Sam butts in.
I forgot you said you had a whole bit here.
And
we'll talk about it.
It's brief. Sam is like, well, I'm going to go to... And Elrond says, you weren't supposed to be here. This is secret, and you're not invited to it, and here you are. And Sam comes in. So, 2 things on this.
Okay.
Sam is loyal.
Oh, yeah.
Which is great, and I like Sam. That's cool. The fact that this is a secret council, and either they saw Sam in the corner, and they let him sit in on a secret council that he's not supposed to be a part of, that seems to be unwise. Or
they didn't notice.
They didn't see Sam.
Which I think is what it is.
Which would be incredibly negligent for them to have a secret council and ignore someone who's sitting in the room with them who's not supposed to be there. And so either way, I feel like this reflects well on Sam, and it also reflects poorly on the council. I don't think it's supposed to. I think it's supposed to be a Sam bravery moment and a Sam loyalty moment.
Okay.
But I do not like how it displays the council, personally.
Every chapter we see more and more reasons why Sam is awesome.
Yes.
And loyal.
Sam is great.
I think it is the council didn't notice. And I think it is less negligence, although it is paired with it, is like a prejudice against hobbits in a way.
Yeah. Could be.
They just don't notice him because he's really short.
Yeah.
And
Gollum's also really short.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And the point, though, isn't that they're scared of, like, having evil spies here. Like, Gollum won't go into Lothlorien.
Yeah.
Because it's too good.
Yeah.
And so you get the sense that servants of the enemy just can't be here.
Yeah.
So they're not worried about that.
Yeah.
They're just trying to keep this relevant to who it's relevant to.
Yeah.
So in that sense, like, it isn't some, like, great strike of negligence.
Yeah. They are in a place where, like, if you were going to throw caution to the wind anywhere, Rivendell is a good place to do it.
Yeah.
But also, the one time you meet together with people to determine
I see what
the
you're
whole
saying.
fate of Middle Earth, and you can't even notice who's in the room with you, is just, it's not a good start. And I
don't think it's a big deal at all.
I don't think Tolkien meant to imply that at all. That's not how it reads when it comes across. It's not like, oh, they made a mistake. It's kind of like Elrond knew he was there the whole time, but then it's weird that he would just allow that to happen if it's not supposed to happen. So, I don't know. It just strikes me as very odd.
I gotcha.
So that's all I have. It's not a big deal. It's just like it's a minor grievance that I would voice with it. But that's all I've got on that. Do you have anything else on the Council of Elrond while we're here?
No.
Wow. We have finally come to the end of one chapter. It only took us 2.5 hours. That's wild.
Yeah.
So, excellent. Well, next chapter is not that way. Chapter number 15. It's number 3.
I think we should call it chapter 3.
But we've already had a chapter 3. It was Three's Company.
I would say Fellowship of the Ring, Book 2, Chapter 3.
Book 2, Chapter 3. I guess that's fair.
Yeah.
Yes, The Ring Goes South. I guess
we
will
watch
The Ring Go South.
The title does a lot there.
So, cool. We will get to that next time. Thank you for listening. Hopefully that's been interesting.
I hope so.
It is interesting. Hopefully it was also beneficial in some way. And we will see you next time when we decide to record the next couple of chapters.